When a woman is an earthquake, shaking the ground beneath your feet. How do you act cool when she's a volcano, erupting fire in your veins? How do you tiptoe around the remains of the past that lay sleeping in the darkened corners of your mind? How? How did you find yourself drowning in this desire after your heart suffered a deep, long drought? Why? Why do we doubt love? Why? Why do we doubt love when its truth is never hiding? And when did she start to remind me of the red suns rising? What? What are the questions we are afraid of? And how do I get to the answers? Our minds are our bodies. When we lay together, I shift my thoughts from words to movement, searching for a comfortable space in your silence to place my hands along the contours of conversation. This is sacred. Give me one reason to fight for hunger when words are fruit, and your soul fits my skin like sentences, when there is substance and patience. We are lovers of a different kind. When we sleep together, sheet music covers our bed and I dream of songs that escape me softly in the morning. Why do we doubt love? Your mind moves like an instrument. It's my favorite song. And I welcome the chords willingly and peacefully. So why do we doubt love? In the winter, I will watch you from afar and fall to bed, wrapped in the warm woven folds of anticipation, and wake up and wash off the crimson that kissed me in the colorful dreams. In the spring, I am awake and in bloom, a beacon for your light, a bird in flight, floating along the winds of change. In the summer, we are careful yet careless, burning deep fires of mystery, sweating from the proximity, yet scared to burst into flames, because we doubt love. In the fall, you are the queen before the sea, and the branches of doubt that fall away from me, and the quiet, cool air that whispered the birth of true love. Thank you. Can everybody say love? Love. Sweet. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. I think it's a beautiful thing, and we don't see it. We do doubt it. It's crazy. All right. So this next set of poems are about self-discovery and love of self. Ultimately, that is the definition of love. When you love yourself, it's funny what can't touch you when you love yourself. And it's not an arrogant thing, it's truth. I built a ladder to the sun before my feet were ready for the climb. There were blisters in my heart and fear in my breath, but I walked up each step, clutching the sides of a dream with reality's death grip, slowly falling up to her warmth. Along the way, I let go of gravity and pain before finding out my mind held on to doubt, like the clouds hold on to shadows before giving birth to rain. I built a ladder to the sun before my soul was ready for the climb. But this time, ascension is not distraction. And this time I will not look down. Because I cut off all my strings, now I'm not hung up on things. I dusted off my wings so I wouldn't cling to things, and I started to fly. Free of gravity, to tiptoe through the wind, indulge myself in sin, and learn to live again. And love gave me a pen, told me to write about my freedom. Hate was rattling my cage, but I refused to feed him because truly letting myself go means living out loud and cradling the clouds. And suddenly, my space sucked its deep black holes back into oblivion. And my affinity for flight unearthed a new kind of light, and love guides me through the night. She says, keep me in your sight, and I do. Where wonder ends and knowing begins, we shield ourselves from the glow of uncertainty and focus on forever. The road ahead is not paved in gold, but we finally passed the past, leaving tire tracks on the dead ends of the future and fire tracks on the uphill climb toward each other. On this journey, we've strolled along pathways of rough terrain, wandering through detours of broken highways. On this journey, I've watched your light brighten my heaven, and I've seen your darkness complement my shadow. Where wonder ends and knowing begins, the black does not fall out of the sky at midnight, and the sun grants us permanent passage. Thank you. I hope I'm not too mellow for you all tonight. You having fun? Yes. Let's say love. Woohoo! All right, sweet. I mean, I want people to just yell that when you're walking down the street. Just be like, love, just scare somebody, like wake people up, you know? All right, so I should have thought about my set list more than this. I'm gonna do some sort of heavy poems by myself for a while. Yeah, it's gonna get kind of dark. This first poem is two poems strung together about friends who have passed away. The first one is about Jasiri Whipper, who I worked with at the paper. A beautiful man. And the second part of it is about Casey Kane, a friend of mine who passed away as well. So I'm gonna string these together. I've done these poems before, and I haven't been able to get through them sometimes, so if I stop, I'm just gonna stop. Okay. You were the flame before the phoenix, born on the 4th of July, the boy who poured his heart into the sky. On the day you died, I tiptoed calmly through the forest of your memory, then walked into the rising stillness of reality, the absence of your smile. Tonight, I cannot think of you without locking fingers with trees, clinging to a life beyond breathing and longing for a lifetime of quiet strength. You came to this place as a cub and left as a lion, lifted from angels. Now we plant seeds in your name. The last time I saw you, you were a shadow of yourself. You were hiding the battle scars after declaring war on the ghosts that were moving through your body. We all would have gone on the front lines for you, but you had to do it alone, so you held on to your heartbeat like a weapon, smiling through the pain, even after your enemy claimed its name, cancer. It's a year and a half later, and your ex-boyfriend tells me it's a shame that someone with so much life couldn't win the fight. So we drink and think of you and continue to train for the battle like it's the only thing worth fighting for. But now I sharpen my swords for your memory to cut through the silence that left you here after all the smoke cleared. Thank you. I got through it. All right, this next one is Rachel's favorite poem, Giving Birth. She actually put this on the back of T-shirts, which I thought was really cool. I never had that before. Like, that was pretty cool, so thank you. Yeah. And this is sort of about the duality of taking care of Mother Earth as well as taking care of yourself. I see a lot of parallels in the way that society is going right now. We just don't seem to care about our soul and about our mother. Do you remember when the earth was just a baby settling in its skin, safe in the arms of Mother Nature with fire breathing from within? You were not shackled by time, and life roamed around your heart with the weight of dinosaurs, leaving footprints in your lungs. And the first time you saw the sun, you could barely breathe, because the possibility of endless light planted a seed, and you admire the strength of trees, who naturally grew into unwavering beauty, standing tall, staring down the mouth of time. Do you remember being 11 years old and your mother told you that birth is more painful than dying? So you burst with dreams without even trying, seeking light inside your heart, where shadows now rest comfortably next to fear, but you come out of the woods more clear with nature's breath under your tongue and a weightlessness, no longer scared of death, because when we were young, nobody tells us that we aren't invincible. So we become superheroes with super magic powers and teach ourselves to fly by tying a shirt around our necks and jumping off of couches. The world was malleable, and it was beautiful. As beautiful as the sky and its clouded blank canvas, with our bodies brushing up against it, bursting with bright color. But as we get older, we think we have to play it safe by tucking in our wrinkled capes and giving in to gravity's weight. But I know the power of life. Thank you. So, not all of my poems are all like peaceful love, you know. I tried my hand at a really angry poem. And this was in reaction. It was a weird reaction. I had a friend, she's better now, she was a poet, and she was cutting herself. And I was really close to her, and then I found this out. And my reaction to it wasn't, it was weird. Usually when I find something like that out, sympathy, but I was really angry. It was a really interesting reaction. So I wrote that for her. And this is me exercising my anger. I have a lot of friends who are like, "You're never angry." I'm like, "Have you read my poems?" You know? Okay, so this is called Red. And I don't do this poem a lot. Okay. Maybe she had the right idea. I'll cut right angles into my skin, rid myself of these poems, then rip my insides out. Dare me not to do it. Dare me a date with red lips, then deny it later, and I'll come home with a head full of head full of paint to play with. To stay with myself is so fucking unbearable. The walls beg for red to stain them and drain them of dead ends and friends who pass through rooms just to take pictures down. I want to drown in red and flush the world of every other color. Blind myself to the absence of light until it surrounds me and drowns me beneath your gray hangovers and your washed up blues. You can't sell me on your dreams. I have no more green to give you. I'm red with anger and sunsets on paper, cutting dead nights onto hardwood floors again and again and again. Thank you. Love. I don't know why I always do that when I'm gonna start doing that more. Okay, so now more love poems. Does anybody have any water?
Some wine.
Take some wine.
I have a bottle of wine.
Yes. Oh, you do? Thank you. Let's give it up for my mom for giving me wine, all right? All right. I'm all right. I'm all right. Kind of funky, maybe. Yeah. Oh, nice. I'm like, is that a mistake? I don't know what's going on. The first night I met you, you were dressed like the moon. A silver crescent to the night's blinding sky, revolving around nocturnal thoughts. At that moment, I sent a prayer to the stars for you to replace the darkness in my mind and emerge. Full and luminous, with lucid light. That night, I was blindsided by my desires unfolding, so I squinted to hold on to a slippery dream. As the tides rose quickly through my body, and you lay glowing and magnificent, overcoming my atmosphere. Because I like how we are heavy without tipping the scale. I like that. I like how we don't need poems to be poetic. How you say so much without speaking, by just breathing next to me. I like how we learn so much without knowing, by just glowing in the bright spots. I like how we are beautiful without makeup and mirrors. My eyes are closed and I can feel you. Because she will be the world forever woven within my breath. She will be the fresh air that removes me from fog. She will be the light that lives beneath my feet when I am troubled with shadows. She will be God-like, wrapped in fierce skin and illuminated lips. And we'll make love like it's the first time, every single time. And she will come to me unfettered, the echo of natural calm. We've made an art out of touching in perfect darkness. Each painting is on display for the lights that flash by our windows at night. I can find the brushstrokes that make her skin a masterpiece, and she signs her name discreetly on my body, like a tattoo. And we'll mount our love where the paint is peeling, never losing the feeling of creation. Because every time I tell myself I'll stop writing about her, I start writing about her. And the way she dances, you see, she dances as if dancing were the only way to move. And I'm plugged into her groove. I'm wired into my desire for her sonic boom because we are in tune. And on the days we dance together, our footsteps shuffle through the streets gracefully. Arm in arm, she leads me into poetry. And we rely on each other spiritually and physically. But when she lets go, I unsuccessfully search for the same sounds elsewhere. Faking music with off-key melodies and turning up the volume on stagnant symphonies. But every time I tell myself I'll stop wanting her, I start wanting her. And the rhythm of my heartbeat is the rhythm of her heartbeat. And we'll close our eyes and listen. Close our eyes and listen. Close our eyes and listen. Listen. Thank you. Love. we're making some babies tonight. That's making some babies. All right. Wow. Hey, I'm actually sweating up here. I don't know. All right. So. This is actually my favorite part of my shows when I read newer poems. I have poems in my wallet. That's not just a prop for the show. I actually do keep a lot of poems in my wallet because I like to, of course, memorize them for shows. But there are a lot of poems that just don't want to be memorized. They're like, no, like, you know, paper. Like, you wrote me on paper, you know, perform me on paper. So I'm like, all right. I talk to my poems, I don't know. So these are some newer ones that I'm going to read for you all. All right. This is one about Haiti. What's interesting to me is things happen in the world all the time, and the media, which is kind of funny because I'm part of the media, but they pay attention to it for maybe a couple weeks, and then they let it go. But it's still happening. And you know, Haiti is not like everything is fine in Haiti, but that story is now buried if it's even in the paper or on the TV. This is called Cracks in the Marrow. I saw my reflection on TV buried beneath the rubble, the landscape of my face drowning with grief as tears shook the foundation of my heart like an earthquake. There are cracks in the marrow of Mother Earth. Her heart hides mass graves of burden piled high beneath invisible pain, and now we know what it looks like. It's the faces of men forever masked in sorrow, and a mother walking slowly into tomorrow, building hope on the back of a swollen landscape that's spinning with chaos. Dear Haiti, today I feel like we are one. I am nothing more than your lost son, searching for his brothers among the spirits spiraling down and looking to the sky for solid ground. Dear Haiti, the promise of your survival shines like starlight rising in a winter sky. In spite of gravity, you will fly. Thank you. right, I'm gonna pick out another one. Ooh, this is kind of a sad one. This is called Something Fragile. I've spent most of my life trying to find peace when broken pieces of the earth unfold in front of me, when the holes in my shoes are the blisters of my heart, searching for patches of perfect pavement. But I keep finding pieces of love scattered across the ground like glass, as tourists pass in speeding cars, splashing each poem that shuffles by. In Charleston, pieces of history clutter the streets, and love is a hurricane that tore down my walls long ago. Each violent wind breaks off a piece of my soul, so I am left trying to find peace among the shards of sexuality, the fragments of foolishness, the aftermath of affection. Thank you. See, I love this because I don't know what's next. This is another poem about our country ignoring some stuff. This is about New Orleans. This is called And She Is Still Dancing. New Orleans is a ballerina full of dream dust, dancing in the rain with her finger on the pulse of America and a tattoo of a broken heart on her chest. I fell in love with her the first time we met. We held hands and jumped into the open arms of color when she taught me how to dance. Through clouds of smoke and singular moments, I thirst for her tears as she told me how death slept in her bed and nightmares danced to the tune of despair. But New Orleans is wide awake, splashing puddles of light on the dry gray shadows of her land, and she is still dancing with her finger on the pulse of America and a tattoo of a broken heart on her chest. Thank you. This is one, how do I explain this one? When you realize how powerful women are and how weak men are, and how powerful men try to seem sometimes. Sorry to call you guys out, but I'm here, you know. Like I'm living this. Mother Earth, you know. Okay, this is called Dear Delilah. Dear Delilah, I want you to believe I am as strong as Samson every time you lay with me and unlock the thoughts that are hidden beneath layers of tightly woven locks. I want you to think of me as a lion, calmly walking through a forest fire of mystery, the king of his domain, the ruler of ash. I want to be strong enough for you to ride my back and latch on to the muscles that arch and bend to your body when we make love. But Delilah, it's moments like these when I gain my strength from you and the way your hair looks in the morning, tangled in my mane as you sleep. It's you who finds me in the wild and brings me back home when I am weak. Did you like that one? Yes. Okay, let me find one that works. All right, so I am on a spiritual journey. We all are, really. I am aware of it now more than ever. This is about that. This is called What Is of Our Experience. Even in caged darkness, we are blooming. Before shadows attempt to erect demons on the day, we are breathing and burning light. Above the swift, unflinching weight of time, our feet dangle over the edge like children, and we are still learning how to love. Even in the sour exile of death, our skin is soft and our souls sweeten a memory. Even at this moment, a baby is born and knows what it feels like to be completely and remarkably free. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna read a couple more and then have Stuart come back up. Okay. I don't know why I'm reading all these depressing poems. Okay, this is called On Meeting Death. This was a challenge to myself to write some different types of poems. We'll see. Walking steady, he approaches, shadow-veiled and calm, armed with the cold breath of memory, the tiny storm clouds of forever. I am the dawn of my first footsteps, the cobalt blue sky of love, the stomach twisting of my first kiss, the relentless stamp of age, quietly. The storms tumble down and drown out the light of my mind until I am void of misery or mystery. Thank you. I should read that one more then. And I'm trying to find the one that I want to read. Yes, okay. This is for my dog, Chloe. Yeah, she passed away. Oh, see, maybe I shouldn't do that. She went blind before she passed away, and I wrote this about her. This is called "There Are So Many Things We Cannot See." And before I read it, it's funny, I see, I have endless hope, like no matter how dark things get, things will get better, And this sort of started out as a very depressing poem, but then at the end, there's hope. There are so many things we cannot see. When her eyes became black pearls bathed in shadow, she still saw the beauty in us. Each morning she awoke to the crystal clear color of pure love, blind to nothing but our hesitation to follow. Some people would rather crawl through life and run into the walls of their mind, but I'd rather aim to chase moments of bliss, stop to listen to the whisper of the wind, and guide myself by the endless light inside. Thank you. Okay, I'll read one more before we get Stuart back up. Thank you guys for being a great audience, by the way. I really appreciate this. Love. Nice. This is the shameless promotion part. I do have some books for sale if you guys like what you hear. They're $300 a piece. Just kidding, it's only $10. Gotcha. I'm not a comedian. Okay. This is called "They Say the Moonflower Blooms at Night." The dreamer wears a crown on his heart. He's been planting flowers in her garden, watering them with jewels and reaching for silver sunlight in the morning air. Even when his voice is dry, he floods her door with poems and takes them one by one, drawing lines in the sand. The dreamer plucks lilies from silence and lavender from the ether, hoping that love will blossom. What lies beneath the root is truth, watered down to the soul. Is that one? Okay, one more. I love this part. I'm sorry, I just love it. How many of you have revisited a lover when you probably shouldn't have? Wow, so nobody's gonna raise their hand. Like, I feel like I'm naked up on stage and like, okay. This is what it feels like. This is what it felt like for me. And yeah, the next morning was not, anyway, a good morning. It's called "Dialogue with Our Ghosts." If we go down this road again, I am not getting lost, and our love won't steer us in the wrong direction. Instead, we will dump our baggage in the back seat and make new memories on familiar streets. You will clutch the steering wheel of my heart, and we will depart for a place where your skin rests peacefully between my fingertips and the morning sleeps softly on your lips. Your kisses were the key that turned me on and started me, but please, help me understand why our tank was once empty. Tell me why our path paved the way for dead ends. Prove to me that love, or that forever, doesn't break or bend. If we go down this road again, I will throw every map out of the window and feel my way into the direction of your body, the landmark of your skin. Thank you. All right, I can come back up. Yeah. Yeah, love. Now we're gonna sort of, in relation to that poem, gonna do a series of poems about unrequited love, which all of us have felt, you know? So yeah, we are going to do that. Thank you all for being so amazing. Thank you. I might need that water before we start. Yeah. My voice is about to crack. Crack it. Thank you. All right. All right, this can be kind of like sort of angry-ish. Yeah. She told me she wasn't a firefly, but I refused to listen. Instead, I held out my heart like a jar and tried to bottle her light. She flew in and out of my darkness, sparking magic with each glowing movement of her wings. It was spring. And even on the cloudy days, the raindrops did not touch her, but still, I chased her. Eyes adjusting to each flash of brilliance, blinded by my desire. Dear God, after all this time, I am nothing more than cold, dark matter. A cluster of shadows in search of an outline. Running after fireflies, waiting for their spark to show me the path to love. Lover. They will shout our names into a hollow sky now that this is over. Now that you've unplugged your heart's amplifier and we are silent. Lover. You will never again lay beside me with a heartbeat as loud as the dawn's persistence of a new day, peeking through my window pane because we were too lazy to get up. Open the window, let all of the light in. Lover. We found ourselves in the folds of bed sheets, ironing out each other's mistakes. We danced to the tune of unwritten songs while humming the melodies we found. Perfect falling stars in the clear midnight sky of my bedroom, but lover. I will never again dream technicolor daydreams and suffer sleepless nights for your fantasy, lover. I will gnaw on the hunger we crave. Sometimes you look like you did that morning. When the sunlight ran its fingers through your hair and the story of your skin unfolded in front of me like the pages of our long-lost history. Chapter 1. The sun billowed down to expose bare backs hiding beneath blankets, and the mute desire broke its silence and brushed up against the marrow bone. In the soft, warm glow of a blurry morning, we burned until you turned the page and peeled back my memory like dead skin. Sometimes you look like you did that morning, when your shadow gripped me as tight as your fingers did while writing our stories in the deep echoes of the night. I wish you could see me, crawling in the dead space, struggling to write a sequel. 'cause tonight I feel like running away. So the bartender keeps them coming my way. To down and drown my thoughts away in a glass with 2 ice cubes and 2 little straws. I'm stirring, submerging my thoughts with liquid, losing focus with each new sip, slipping away. Another one, I say. And outside, the world starts wavering. Her wings are weighing down the walls. I try to push them back out, but they keep coming in. And I can't win, so I drink again. Taking shots of bourbon and gin and a shot at hating her again. I hate you. And the fact that our picture had no frame. I hate you. The way that silence screams your name. I love you. And for this I have no shame, but I push those words out of the way. Another one, I say. I remember riding your back to the moon, the wind would guide us. We glided in and out of clouds, looking down at solid ground. And I held on to you. And every single thing you didn't say. Your words were fire. You wanted to fly away. It was a fantasy. Another one, I say. Yeah, perfect. Love? Nice, they're all raising your hands now, sweet. All right, so I think we're gonna do one more set, and then I'll do a couple on my own, I think, and that'll be it. Thank you so much for coming out. You guys are great. Like, I love love, but I love the connection that words and emotion sort of give people. I really don't feel like I write this stuff sometimes. Like, it comes through me, and the reason I do it is to share this, and thank you. It's for all of the like, yeah, you like that stuff. Like, you are amazing. You are amazing. Okay. So, yeah, give it up for Stuart. I want Stuart to have some fun. Solo, you can like solo a bit. Yeah. And then I'll just come in, you know? Yeah. Gonna watch him do his thing for a second. You having fun? Yeah. Sweet. Oh, okay, sweet. Yeah, I'm trying to memorize the Chloe poem, but I can't do it. Yeah.
You gonna do something else?
Oh yeah. Thank you for coming.
They recording this on DVD?
Yeah. I'm not sure what they're gonna use it for, but recording it for sure.
Bad one.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I'll get copies and everything. Give it up for Stuart, everybody. I love it, I love it, I love it. So I'm trying to work on my issues with putting women on pedestals, but I can't stop, I can't stop. So here goes. So here goes some poems about that. She and I are folded into each other and naked. Two pieces of paper, once blank, now full of words we don't speak. We don't do anything but breathe proximity. She has poems in her head, and I suck the words out until they're overflowing on sheets. Knowing we don't have to read between the lines this time. This time we are nude, not hiding behind metaphors or synonyms. Our limbs are wet with slips of tongue. Her lips are dipped in gold. I kiss her everywhere with flexible fingers and map out our story on her body. It glows on her skin. And the plot goes in and out of context. What's next but sex? Tension is tied up and friction rides up through sound. We are dirty and divine. You can be dirty and divine. Stamping each other with heat inside an envelope of arms. She's so easy to write about. I clutch her curves and compose a composition, literally and figuratively. There's no fantasy this time, because this time we are real, riding the back of the moon until the sun takes us to morning. Her lipstick licking lollipops leaves me lusting for the low end of her landscape. I'd willingly allow her to leak endorphins into my wounds until my darkened scars become illuminated and my inhibitions become emancipated. Loneliness, leave your lack of passion at home and listen as I look inside of her silence for a lullaby to lull us into dreams with our arms locked into each other. And our arms locked into the language of sleep's heartbeats. Love, don't kill this fantasy. This is lust. This is learning to live wicked. This is lust. I was gonna do something else. Lust. No, I'm just kidding. All right, thank you all. I'm gonna do one more piece, and I really appreciate it. Appreciate the love, and I feel so comfortable up here. Like I really could just be here all night. What I'm gonna do. I love you. I think you're so great. Okay, I'm gonna do one more piece. Thank you so much. I do have books for sale. I need to get more comfortable with selling my stuff. I have books for sale, and it's a book that was published I think 2 to 3 years ago. But it's sort of like one of those books that I feel like is my first set of poems, even though I've been writing since '91, so it's gonna be 20 years next year. That's pretty awesome. Anyway, but that feels like my first set of poems. and I still feel like I'm starting over again. Anyway, this is called Open. Okay. Watch the last poem I mess up, watch. Okay, even though I never gave you the key, you unlocked me. And now I am open to endless possibility. And we will no longer close doors or shut windows because the light is too bright to deny. And the wind whispering kisses into the room will listen as my fingers unlock the mysteries of your body. I am open for you. Like the road that will guide you coast to coast and hold you in its arms, you are a newborn baby, looking up at the sky, wide-eyed and open, hoping for life's infinite woven tapestry to wrap your soul in its wonder and unfold miles and miles of new memories. I understand you need to be lost because your roadmap opens you up to me, and you are not free to take our journey, but we'll both look up when you grow wings, and I'll tilt my head west and catch feathers on my tongue, and you'll stare at the sun, feel my warmth, and know exactly where to find me. Thank you so much.
You didn't do jazz but New Orleans?
Oh,
Do that one, last one. Do that.
my dad.
Encore.
My dad wants me to do one more poem. My dad wants me to do the poem about New Orleans. My dad wants me to do that poem, and I'm going to do it. Maybe I should do that with Stuart. Yeah. So I read one poem about New Orleans earlier, but this is, if there was a greatest hits, like this would be track number one, you know? So anyway, this is about New Orleans and Joy's in the house. Woohoo! Yeah, go ahead, start. The morning rises with smoke and the water drowns out the sky, washing your music away. New Orleans, you are silent today. Your muted colors were splashed upon television screens, your ink darkened newspapers, smearing silhouettes all over our hands, and we are helpless, restless with worry, wondering when Bourbon Street will dance again, when men will make love to the evening air with saxophones, where somebody soaks up the atmosphere with spicy Cajun food, speaking Creole, New Orleans. You have so much soul. Now I dream in jazz rhythms, closing my eyes to feel the drum beat that rests steady beneath the ruin. It echoes, heavy, like the heartbeat of families forced to flee the floodwaters, where melodies no longer float through the air. Instead, they lay there, unable to breathe. But you will find your beat again. It will rise with the morning air, and the water will sing to the sky. And our tears, they'll write new songs for jazz to sing. For jazz to sing. Thank you.
Let's give it up again for Marcus Anderson.
and Stuart, and Stuart, and Stuart, and Stuart.
And thanks, Dad. I had almost forgotten that piece. A few years ago, it was actually on your website.
Yeah, yeah.
So thanks, Dad, for reminding us about that. Number of thank yous. Stuart White.
Woohoo!
Gallery Chuma. And all of the Moja volunteers. Marcus, thank you so much for
Oh, you're
sharing your
welcome.
heart, your heartbeat, and your poetry. And we should all feel blessed. I had no idea you had taken a vacation from performing.
Oh,
So
yeah, I just took a little break.
We feel very blessed. We should feel very blessed that we were able to witness this new performance. So everyone, thank you so much for coming. As Marcus said, thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. Please make sure, I actually bought one of his books a few years ago, so it's definitely, even though he doesn't like to sell, I'll sell. It is a bargain for $10. It should be priced much higher than that. So please take a look at his work. Also, please go upstairs. There's wine for the adults. There's also a huge gallery. So if you're thinking, well, I don't want to go upstairs because there's going to be too many people, it's a huge gallery. So there's art down here, there's art upstairs.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty
please
cool.
take your time. One of the things I love about Gallery Truma is that it's a gallery for all, from $50
It's a
to
guy whose
over
name is Truma
$24,000.
something.
It's just
I
for everyone.
think so. Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think so.
again,
yeah, and then
thank
and
you.
Jonathan
Have a
Green,
wonderful
like
and
kind
safe
of,
night.
you know, this is
And
his spot.
Look at the art
Jonathan
before you
Green's
go. Take care. Bye.
Take a picture with her.
spot. Oh, all right.